Coming up on the next episode of the Celsius Pod.
Aiden, what the fuck is playing?
I don't know. I have literally no idea what's playing.
I kind of want to see what it is now.
In fact, do you just not like any old movies?
Yes, I only like new movies.
And so he's good, is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Is he, or does he become good? Like he's bad and then he becomes good, and then you're like,
Kind of.
Apparently, I was the goodwill that was hunting the whole.
I was the Goodwill shopping center.
Okay, now we're started. Now we're 97. It's 97.
All right, guys.
97.
It is currently 0.56% up on the USD currency. I don't know why Google is telling me this and
Nicola,
it no
give us
longer
the
tells me.
NASDAQ.
It only tells me that the United States is now 0.56% up from the Chinese yuan, the exchange rate. It no longer tells me the weather. I don't know why. I cannot find the weather.
I need to move some of my assets.
83 is what it is.
Shit, I found it.
56
I found it.
in Boston.
It is 50 degrees Fahrenheit in Belgrade.
46.
Great.
We got a fucking heat wave here in Palo Alto. It's been 90 degrees in my house for the past week, and I've been dying.
Yeah,
it has been pouring rain in Boston. So
lucky motherfucker.
Lucky.
Yeah.
So how's everyone's Celsius Oscar movie?
Oh yeah.
Unwritten.
So mine is about the same stage as it was last year.
I came up with a title, and I've come up with a villain and how I can rewrite history.
How many episodes?
When I do make the Solvy Crimes Solves the Cult mystery movie, everything works.
How many episodes
guess
do we
the
have
villain's name
before you guys have to turn it in?
Is the name Lily Flair?
No, it's not Lily Flair. Okay, and no. But,
so question.
I do have, I think, the title for the movie. It's a working title, but it's mostly right. I can give the title. Do we want to hear it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the title, the working title is Solvy Crimes in Prime Time for Crime, the musical starring Kermit D. Crimes.
This sounds awful.
Aiden, we're gonna get sued by Disney.
Kermit's a regular.
Kermit the Frog is not Disney, man.
Okay, one, it is, but two, Kermit is just a name. Like, it's a regular name.
Guys,
okay,
no copyright infringement.
Okay, here's another question, though. How many episodes do you guys have left before you have to turn it in?
December, so 3 months.
We have a long time.
2 months.
And plus,
I want to know, what episode are we watching it on?
Episode 120 is when it's due.
Episode 120.
23 weeks.
But
23
we're probably
episodes.
going to film it way before.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. No, because I want to know when you guys have to turn it in. Because this year, I kind of want to rate them beforehand. That way.
Well, yeah, it's probably going to be
I'm prepared for the episode.
Film it around 110 or something like that.
That way for the episode, maybe we can do the group watch thing again, or I can just go through the rankings and give like a detailed summary on why I think. That way,
I think us three will all watch each other's films live, and then you can watch them before.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think that's the best idea. That way I can get, because I want to have a really detailed reason for why I give each score.
And that way you have like a critical eye, because you can see it the first time for entertainment, and then second time you've already seen it and you know what's going on, so you can critique it properly. I think that's a great idea.
You see the foreshadowing that I included. You know, like the rug was actually infused with cocaine.
Like the floating wrench, the wrench that floats around the screen.
The floating wrench, guys. I mean, this is the attention to detail you don't find in Aiden's films.
This is Nicola's critique. Not like La La Land. Terrible movie. Terrible movie.
Guys, what if I just make a shot-for-shot recreation of La La Land?
Speaking of La La Land,
if you pull that off, I will fucking give you 5 stars. If you can manage to pull that off.
Speaking of La La Land, movies by the same director. So remember, guys, last week when I really enjoyed Whiplash, but I had one major problem with it. Right? We all remember this, right? So
he didn't have it physically. That was his main push.
So 2 days later, I get a package from Amazon with my name on it. which is very confusing because I didn't order a package. And typically, when someone orders me a package, they will put something like "shit internet man" on there. Like,
I was thinking of doing that.
Yeah. So, well, now we've already spoiled it. I got a package from Beck, and it was Whiplash. He got me Whiplash physically on DVD. So
and now that he can watch it frame by frame, he sees that it's the 5-star movie.
Now it's a part of my 5-star. It says 4 stars on the box. I gave it a higher rating.
Are you blind? Those are 5.
Why?
Aiden, there's 5.
No, but
Aiden, I think you're dyslexic. There's 5 there.
Aiden, that's a 4 out of 4 scale. You know, that's a 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 4 scale.
It says highest rating. That's as high as it goes.
Yeah, it's the highest rating.
4 out of 4, exactly.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, I got the movie on. I should actually turn it on though. Yeah. So I actually have the movie on. So,
all right,
we can
explain my side of this story.
Hit it.
You have a side of the story.
As we told last week, I tried so hard to get Aiden to watch Whiplash in theaters. I was going to call his boss and beg to give him the day off so that he could go watch the Whiplash. But eventually, I had to buy him a ticket Tuesday night to go see Whiplash.
Yeah.
And then he didn't post a number review on Letterboxd.
Yeah, because it was funny.
And then I immediately, like, when I hopped on call with him, I was like, it was a perfect 10 out of 10 film. And he was like, eh. And at this moment, I knew Aiden had not understood Whiplash.
I guess so.
I decided that having disposable income, which is one of the funniest things possible.
It's so funny, dude.
It's so... Dude,
it's
hilarious. Having money for bits makes it so fun.
It's so good.
I Google Whiplash on Amazon, and Aiden having, for some reason, given me his address, which he should not have done that.
Wait, hold on, wait, back. What the fuck is playing?
Aiden.
Wait,
no,
it just...
Aiden, you put the wrong disc in.
Wait.
Hey, Beck, did you give him a secret disc?
The Whiplash disc is here.
Aiden, what the fuck is playing?
I don't know. I have literally no idea what's playing.
I kind of want to see what it is now.
I don't know what it is.
It's a
V. Is that fucking Sing?
I don't know what's playing, dude.
Wait,
I literally know.
Minions, MM?
Is that Minions?
No, it's is it Miss Marvel?
Megamind?
No, it's not.
Is it big? Oh, it's Iron Man?
That's not Iron Man.
Well, let's just continue. We'll figure it out later, okay?
I think he set it up from the beginning to get this.
No, let's just continue. So, Beck, you bought it for me like the minute after the pod, right?
Yes. No, I bought it to you before the pod.
Oh, I fucking Black Panther?
Yeah. I pre-arranged. You put on fucking Black Panther?
I don't have Black Panther, dude. I don't know what's on.
What is that? Why is there a helicopter?
That's Godzilla or Kong?
It's not. No, I know the intro to both of those movies. It's neither.
I don't know what. Let's just keep going, okay?
Okay.
We can't get hung up on this.
So, I bought it for him, and I thought it was a really funny bit, and it was was great.
Funny.
And I'm so glad he recorded it because I didn't expect him to.
Well, I was confused. I didn't know what it was. Whether or not it was something that I had ordered or not, I would have been like, whoa, that's crazy. I forgot I ordered this or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whiplash.
I didn't order Whiplash. Somebody else
ordered
it.
Aiden, what else was in the package?
Oh, yeah, that's on my wall right now. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's in my garbage.
I believe it was.
His little gift note. It says, not quite my rating. Watch it again.
Not quite my rating. Watch it again.
Not quite my rating.
Not quite my tempo.
Is that Batman Begins?
It's a Marvel movie, it said. Remember?
That's fucking Morbius.
Chad, is this Morbius?
I don't think so.
I think that's Morbius. That's Morbius.
I have the Morbius disc right here.
Chad, why does he have the Morbius disc?
No, I have it in my hands right here.
That's pretty. That's
Chad, Chad, why does he have 2 Morbius discs?
That's clear. That is Morbius.
Madam Web?
That is Morbius.
No,
that's not Madam Web. That is Morbius.
That's not Morbius because the
That's
Morbius
literally
is
Jared
right
Leto.
here.
That's Jared Leto. What are you
No.
talking about?
It
What do
has
you mean?
2 discs?
1 more billion.
Anyway,
Because I was like
Chad, why-
Marvel
Chad.
M Morbius.
why is
That's
he
fucking
playing
Jared
Morbius?
Leto.
Why am I
Guys,
I'm
playing
leaving.
Morbius?
I
I'm
watched
fucking leaving.
Morbius.
Yeah, you did watch Morbius. How was it, Uri?
Okay, let me read you my review.
No, we read it.
Holy
We know.
Morbin shit. This is the best Morbin movie in the history of Morb. I morbed my pants every Morbin second watching this masterful Morb of a movie. My favorite part of this movie is when Morbius morbed all over his Morb and yelled, I am become Morb. Morber Morbs. This is only Morb I will ever Morb for the rest of my Morbin life. I can't stop screaming about how morberful this is. Four
Uri
and a half.
does not know how to let a bit go.
Yeah. So,
I
Uri,
can't.
so
No, but
how
in
was it?
reality, shitty movie. Not very good.
All right,
Kinda
Is this
guys.
your
sad.
second time watching it or your
I will
first
be
time.
overdosing this
I didn't watch it
episode.
before. Have you guys seen it?
I've seen parts.
I'm about to. I'm about to watch it.
Yeah, guys, we can all rate on Letterboxd after this.
I don't think we can. Not legally.
Okay. Well, let's get into our solos then.
Okay, Beck, you want
Okay.
to start with Mad Men?
I will start with my. Oh yeah, let me get
Down the
into some kind of Mad Men.
Is
Some
this
type
some
of
sort Mad Men?
megalopolis.
My American pop culture class.
Uh-huh.
We have to watch a lot of stuff for this week, so I'm going to talk about it. So,
Yeah, you did watch a
first
lot
thing
of
we had
shit.
to watch, Mad Men. Now,
Great
That's a
show.
goated.
You
goated.
didn't rate
yeah.
it on Letterboxd, by the way.
it's not on Letterboxd. It's
Yes,
a
it
show.
is. What?
Is it?
I'm
Yeah.
like pretty sure it still is on Letterboxd though.
No, it's not.
It is
Really?
not. It's a
Damn.
show.
I thought it was
Yeah, but
a
some
movie.
shows are on Letterboxd.
The making
like
of
Netflix.
Mad Men is on Letterboxd.
Only
but
like Netflix shows and stuff like that.
Oh, it's a 7
it's only like
season show.
limited series.
It's
So
like AMC.
we had to watch the first 2 episodes for class, and it was due Monday morning, and I hadn't done it Sunday night. So me and 2 of my friends sat and we watched Mad Men, and I did drawing during the entire time.
I like
So
it.
I
Bro
will-
didn't want
I
to watch
will-
Peak.
I will recount what I remember from Mad Men. There's
My
this
God.
guy, and he has a purple heart, and
Like
he
Kingdom
runs an
Hearts.
advertising agency. But cigarettes, they can't advertise at their health anymore. So he has this brilliant idea of saying that they're baked, like the chips, and they'll be like 40% less fat, you know. So, and then he wins over all the executives.
That kid's such
Uh,
a fucking moron describing this. He's describing a peak show and he's fumbling it.
I'm in it.
Yeah. So I was not paying attention during like either of the episodes because I had to watch it for class. But what was crazy to me was like we were in class talking about it. My teacher was like, "Yeah, we find out later in the show that this guy's actually impersonating his friend who was killed in the war."
Why would
Yeah.
you spoil it? That's so rude.
I don't know. He just randomly said, he's like, it's fine. We're watching this for analysis purpose, not entertainment purposes. And I'm like, wait, what
The
the
ending-
fuck happens in this show?
The ending of this show is one of the best television endings I've ever seen, I'm gonna say.
Over Breaking Bad?
No, it's just as good as Breaking Bad, I would say.
As good as Breaking. Oh, okay.
It's a good ending for the show. It makes so much sense for the characters. And Don Draper's like probably one of the anti-heroes of like the late 2000s, early 2010s sort of era. And so he's one of those iconic characters. I would suggest it's too slow for Beck, obviously, because Beck is not the type of guy for this show. I would say he also didn't watch Sopranos, which makes sense.
No,
But,
I'm still watching Sopranos. It's just like, I'm taking a bit of a, it's like taking a while for me to get through this one episode, you know?
yeah. But I would suggest if you're really interested in sort of like that era and like that sort of like the destruction of the ideas of the 50s and like moving on to like the 60s type of era, because this show is about the idea of like moving on from the past and like characters adapting to change and can they adapt or not. It's a really smart show.
Some would say, "Let the past die. Kill it if you have to."
Did you watch Last Jedi or something?
I did not. No.
But
I just want to quote a good film at you.
Fucking God, this guy.
Terrible film. For the first time, I watched Cars, guys.
You hadn't seen Cars,
Your
really?
first time ever.
Cars?
Neither Cars 1, Cars 2, or Cars 3.
Well,
Cars 2 is the best one.
Cars 2 is not bad at all. It has Francesco
Cars 2
in it.
is the best one.
Cars 1 is the best one.
Cars 1 is...
Cars 1 is the best.
one.
Cars 2 is the second. Cars 3 is the third.
Cars 1 is my third favorite Pixar movie.
Wow.
That's a crazy ass statement.
Crazy take.
That's
it's
a fucking crazy ass statement. That's not fucking true.
Entirely based in nostalgia, though. That's why. Toy Story.
No,
3
honestly, I see that. I would honestly put Cars.
It's a delusional take.
I would put Cars 1 higher,
Nicholas,
honestly.
shut the fuck up. Toy Story 3 is my favorite from both a nostalgia and good filmmaking standpoint. Monsters Inc. is my favorite purely from an actual filmmaking standpoint, and then Cars is just a nostalgia standpoint.
Cars is goated though.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah,
I would put Cars higher.
Before I saw Cars, the first one, I said this trilogy is bad. Cars is shitty. I don't like it. I'm gonna judge it before seeing it. And I'm gonna be honest, I quite like Cars, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna allow this perception for Cars 2 because I've heard that's bad. I'm just gonna think it's bad.
Cars 2 is goated.
No, it's
Cars
goated.
2 is really good.
It's
All
goated.
the Cars movies are good.
It's
all the
literally
Cars movies are good.
Cars 2 is the best of all three of them.
I watched the first 10 minutes of Cars 2. I fucking hated it.
Bro, it has Francesco in it. You don't fuck with Francesco.
So Uri,
if you're just committed to having a good time, it's an amazing film.
Yeah, Cars 2, terrible actual movie, great shitty movie, like Megalopolis.
It's not even a shitty movie though. It's like not that
it's
bad.
It's not a shitty movie. It's just like dumb fun.
Like, Nick is being ironic, but like unironically, it's not bad.
I'm not being unironic. I legitimately like enjoy the film. I just think people like take it too seriously. It's a really just fun.
I really don't know why people don't fuck
movie.
with the Cars movies. The Cars movies are some of the best Pixar movies ever made, and I mean that.
They just don't feel like that interesting. The Cars premise to me, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it is just what if people were cars, but like
yeah.
Okay,
But,
before Uri rudely interrupted my singles, I'm gonna get back to them. So
we gotta go like one by one singles.
Yeah, one by one singles.
Fine, Nicola, what's your single?
Oh, fine. Okay, I've actually watched quite a bit. Single,
we'll
so like
we'll talk about the Penguin later.
Okay, so you're watching watched. You're the only one that's watched it, and we'll just rotate around the circle.
Okay,
and then once we do all the movies, we'll do all the shows, and then we do the group.
Yeah.
Okay, well then the two things so we're doing Joker together, so we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And we're doing the Penguin together. So I guess the only thing would be Dexter and Bullet Train. Which one would you rather me talk about?
I want to wonder why you're watching Dexter, and like this is so funny to me.
Talk about Bullet Train first, though.
Bullet
Train. This movie, I've heard it. I wanted to watch it for a long time, and it does live up to the hype. I gave it 4 stars. It is a good movie. I say it is a 4-star movie. It's not exceptional, but it is a very good movie.
It's one of my dad's favorite movies because every go into the living room playing guitar, it's always on every time.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why.
It's one of those movies I've heard that you can just like put on randomly.
You can because
he watches it like once or twice a week. I swear.
Yeah, because I mean, the plot is interesting. The jokes are funny. The action is great. The
characters are pretty good.
The characters are good. The acting is amazing. The actual like even the cinematography is good. Like there's a lot of good stuff about this movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was made by like the guy who made like John Wick. I think the first one.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, it's not a bad movie at all.
It's a fun action movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun action movie, and I really enjoyed it. So a big theme about this movie is luck. Yeah. Every character is like, oh, I'm super lucky, I'm super unlucky, and the theme of it is the main character is like called Ladybug because in Japanese culture, ladybugs, the black spots, are like the 7 sins. Is it like the 7 sins? I don't know. It's like all the bad luck in the world is held by the ladybugs, so that everybody else can be better off. And that describes the main character because the main character is super unlucky. And there's this really funny moment in the end That's like a really good payoff. Where like the entire like in the beginning of the movie, we find out he took the job because the other guy that was supposed to take the job canceled. Then in the end of the movie, and he like throughout the entire movie, we keep hearing him say, "Man, that other guy is such an asshole." And then when we finally get into the confrontation with the big bad guy, he gets on his knees, and then the bad guy is explaining the reasoning behind everything, and he's like, "And now I finally get to you. You were the assassin that killed my wife. You were," and then he says the other guy's name, and he said, and then the guy's like, "What the fuck? He's sick. He was out sick. I'm just the grab and go guy."
That's messed up.
That's kind of
And the other
funny.
guy's Ryan.
And then
Reynolds.
also the other, and then it cuts to the other guy, and the other guy's just Ryan Reynolds.
But yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's a really fun movie, really fun. I really enjoyed it. So I guess
it's really
next,
good in theaters.
yes. All right, next person.
Aiden.
Why are you watching fucking? Wait, I want to. Can you tell why you're watching fucking Dexter?
Because
Okay, yeah, Nicola can do fucking Dexter now.
Okay, yeah, because I've only watched the first 6 episodes of it. So because I wanted to. You're saying it's like I'm not allowed to watch shows.
It's like I heard it's a shitty show.
It's not that bad. The writing is awful, but other than the writing, it's good.
So it's
The
like
writing.
So other than the story of the show, it's great.
No, the story is good. I mean the dialogue. The dialogue is
Okay,
shitty.
yeah.
So like Ruby.
Yeah, basically everything else except for the dialogue is shitty. But the dialogue is so fucking corny and so bad. And I hate it when they're talking normally and then halfway through they just say a Spanish word.
Just like real Spanish people.
Yeah, 'cause it's Miami. But it's other than that, it's actually not bad at all. It's a pretty good show.
Tell what Dexter is for people who don't know.
Oh, so basically the show Dexter's, we're following this guy named Dexter.
And
And
what, he has
he-
a secret lab under his house and like an
No,
annoying sister
But
named Dee
he
Dee.
is a serial killer. But he was adopted by this cop, and this cop realized he was like different growing up, like he was a sociopath growing up. So he conditioned him from a young child to only go after like criminals and like murderers. So the only people he murders is like people that deserve to die because they got out of the criminal justice system. So the movie is we're following him, but he also works as a forensics at the police department, the Miami Police Department.
Oh,
So we
he can
follow
kill
him.
people legally.
Yeah, so we follow him as he like solves crimes, but we also follow him as he murders murderers.
I like it.
The
And
basic
it's
premise
a
of the
good
show is
show.
like to introduce serial killer who kills serial killers, essentially.
Yeah. And it's good. Other than
yeah.
the dialogue, it is good. The dialogue
I-
it gets pretty bad because we get lines like he hands out donuts to everybody inside the precinct and then he opens the box and he says, "Wow, empty inside, just like me."
He should
I was
die.
gonna
I
say
think.
I poisoned these donuts, Lamau.
Wow.
I know, but
Donuts
thing is,
for cops.
I don't know if I could handle 7 seasons of that.
Yeah,
And-
that is a thing. Every episode is 1 hour long. Each season is 12
Oh.
episodes. Each
And I
season is
heard-
12 episodes, and
I've heard
there's
it has an
7 seasons.
unsatisfying conclusion too.
yeah, I haven't heard anything about the ending. That's why.
Didn't they make like a second show called like Dexter?
There's like they have
Blood?
prequel and sequel shows.
Did they?
Yeah,
Because
That's
they did
crazy.
make one of him as a child, right? It's
yeah.
called
They
Dexter's
like-
Lab, right?
Original Sin or something.
Yeah,
No, I
but
think Dexter's Lab.
But and then there's a sequel show with him.
yeah. But I don't know. I know that some characters that are pretty goated, like Dokes, he says, "Surprise, motherfucker." He does not make it to the ending. He does die.
I know.
That's so
You know what?
wrong.
I get a bunch of Dexter clips on YouTube Shorts. Like
Yeah, I started
I've
watching it
only
because
gotten, like one.
I kept getting a shit ton of Dexter clips on Dexter and like Dokes and those type of clips on my
Yeah.
feed on TikTok. So I was like, you know what? It's not that bad of a show. I'll watch it. And then I got to the
He's
writing.
gonna go his
And-
Dexter arc. He'll eventually kill each one of us.
I like it.
Just like the
Yeah.
movie.
Wow.
But you guys aren't murderers. Maybe only Uri. Uri's just a pedophile, so he deserves it.
True.
Okay, Aiden, what have you watched?
I only have one solo movie. It's Mean Girls. I rewatched Mean Girls because they
Which
released.
one?
It's no longer a solo movie because I watched. No.
No, you didn't. They re-released it in theaters, so I rewatched it.
Fuck.
The original or the musical?
The original. It's its 20th anniversary.
Okay, so which did you think was better?
The original.
Yeah.
But I don't. But like having seen both of them in such a short amount of time, I don't know why people don't like the musical.
I think if you would just like put the musical numbers in the original movie, that'd be the best movie.
That's basically what they did, though.
But I feel like they also like changed too much.
They didn't change that much. They kind of rearranged a little bit and added a little bit, but they didn't ever take anything away. I think the musical version is just more. I think if we had everything the musical version had shot in 2004, I think it would be the best version of the movie. But I don't know. I think they're both. I think the original's better, but the musical still has a lot of merit. I think the relationship between Katie and Janice and the gay guy, I think it's better in the musical. And I think and I think if we had that in the original one, because they have like zero relationship outside of their like 5 conversations they have throughout the movie. But it's a good movie. It's good. Both are great.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why.
Aiden right now is on his 2000s girl arc, you know?
High School Musical.
What? You watch High School Musical?
Yeah, you did watch High School Musical. Let's talk about that.
I did watch High School Musical.
What the fuck does I will never forgive this movie for cutting the Apple line?
Uri knows what I'm talking about.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
I know.
he does. He fucking knows.
What do you mean by that?
Okay.
Like Fiona Apple?
No.
Fiona Apple? No.
Aiden, there was a very tragic story. There was this girl, and she acted. There was this girl, and she had a role in the original High School Musical movie, where she like holds an apple on a tray, but eventually it was cut from the movie.
Oh, and this is her. And she talks about it in High School Musical, the musical, the series, doesn't she?
And then that young actress went on to be a high school drama teacher.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh my god, you're so cringe, Beck.
It's a High School Musical, the series joke. I see.
Yes.
I see.
That's awful.
How does it feel to be the one fan of that show?
Feels really good, actually.
Feels really good. Ew, don't say that.
Ooh, Mr. Stark, I feel so good.
This actually ties back into something else I want to talk about.
Uh-oh, it ties back into something else.
In American pop culture, we have a presentation.
It's fucking class, you know, every time.
We were watching a lot of stuff in this class. We have a project that's like you have to present about a TV genre. And then I pushed, and we're doing teen dramas.
So you get to talk about High School Musical.
And we were brainstorming ideas, and someone else brought up High School Musical, the musical, the series. I was not the one.
Deal.
I pushed so hard to get it in, but we could not do it. It was so sad.
You should have gotten it in, I think.
You guys did you like Riverdale?
No, we picked 3 shows. We picked Stranger Things, Glee, and Euphoria.
I can see all of those.
No, okay, so Stranger Things is way more than a teen drama. Glee is from like 20 fucking years ago. Nobody watches that shit. Only 40-year-olds watch that. And then Euphoria, okay.
I'll have you know, I've walked in on 3 separate Glee watch parties at Emerson so far.
Dude,
Emerson people
it's
really
a very
like
popular
Glee
movie at
reason.
Emerson, man.
I don't know. There might be some other thing going on.
It's a national movie of Emerson.
Okay. But we watched the first episode of all 3 of those, and they were cool. Just wanted to say I watched those. Uri, you time.
I'm gonna briefly touch on this. I was a bit on a Kurt Cobain kind of binge, so I've been listening
Bro's
to
gonna shoot himself?
Bro's listening to Nirvana? Why, dude? Why are you listening to Nirvana?
So I watched like a guy who made sort of like a fictional kind of rendition of Kurt's last few days. It's a very slow movie, and you wouldn't be wrong to call it a bit boring, but it was kind of interesting to see like what potentially his last days might have been like. Then I watched a documentary on Kurt Cobain.
What about the grandchild of Kurt Cobain with Tony Hawk?
Francis Bean Hawk, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the 90s married each other, you know?
I can't believe that the person can go from like last name Hawk to Cobain. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, Hawk to a Cobain.
No!
Okay.
Yeah.
That kid's gonna be made fun of for that.
For having the last name Hawk?
Yeah. Nowadays, because you've ruined it, Aiden.
Yeah.
We gotta get Aiden and talk to her, you know?
I
Oh
would
my
like to
god,
be on
Nicola, please talk.
We gotta do a collab with Hawk Tua.
Yeah, bro. Get me on there.
Hey, I got a question for you. How much Tua could a hawk Tua if a Tua could hawk Tua?
Haley Welch.
Hi guys, what tongue twisters can you guys say pretty well?
How much Tua could a hawk Tua if a hawk could Tua?
I could do how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. I can do that one.
How much would
Watch?
That's a good one too. How about you, Beck? Can you do any?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck?
No, a different one. You can't do the same one I did.
I don't. What other tongue twisters are there?
Never weather better.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Sally sells seashells down by the seashore.
Well, he fucked that one up.
Bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put her bitter batter in my batter, it'll make my batter bitter.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers?
Okay, so I watched A Different Man in
Yeah, I want
Why
to
are we
watch
skipping
them.
me? I have another single thing.
Yeah,
Oh, I gotta go one.
said
Rap
me.
snitches. Telling all their.
Oh my god.
Okay, Beck, you can go first.
All right.
Had to throw full
I
from the fire
watched
vocal with passion,
Cleo
looking
from
glass like a
5 to 7.
Why?
Now, I feel like Uri is the only one who would know this film.
I actually don't.
I don't
Aiden, do you know
what
this film?
No,
What's the name of the
I have no idea
film?
what it is.
Okay,
What's the name of the film? What is the name of the film? What is the name of the
from 5 to 7?
I still did not hear it. Say it again.
Cleo from 5 to 7.
From 5 to 7.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, is it 5
Do
to
you
7?
know it?
No.
Okay, so
I hate
Cleo
that.
from 5 to 7. It starts with Cleo, and she gets a tarot card reading, and
Like
the magician says death because cancer, and then Cleo drives home, and then the songwriter shows up, and she's like, "I'm depressed," and then she goes and she watches a movie, and then she walks to the park, and she meets an army guy. But the army's like, "I gotta go in 3 weeks." And then she goes to the doctor, and the doctor's like, "You'll be on 3 months of chemo." And she's like, "Life is good." And it ends at 6:45. That was the movie. It was very shitty. It was black and white. It was French. It was too artsy for some reason.
It didn't end it didn't end from 7
It
to
did
5.
not end at 7.
That's crazy. Why did they do that?
I don't know.
Guys, I don't think Beck can appreciate, like, old movies, I'm gonna be honest.
I don't really. Some of them are pretty shitty.
He is true. He's right. People
Um,
keep gassing up like, "Hey, have you seen this French film from the 40s? You should watch it." And it's like, yeah, but
I
it
don't
probably
know why
doesn't.
Vertigo, like my teachers make a big deal, like, guys, Vertigo
Because it was the
passed
first movie to ever use
Citizen
CGI.
Kane. Vertigo was the past Citizen Kane. I'm like, Vertigo was not a very good movie.
I like Citizen Kane.
Vertigo from Vertigo.
Vertigo was the first movie to ever
Beck,
use CGI.
I can't wait for you to watch the 400 Blows.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
But I want to talk about A Different Man. So this movie, I've been hearing, so Sebastian Stan is kind of on his, like, a real peak renaissance of, like, he has Thunderbolts, The Apprentice, and A Different Man. And I'm going to watch The Apprentice soon, I think. But,
When is that
essentially-
coming out?
And like the week, this probably weekend or something.
Oh my god, there's so many fucking movies coming
Yeah,
out.
I'm also gonna watch. I gotta watch the Saturday night movie.
I know. I gotta see that too. I'll see it next Saturday.
Anyway,
Also, Aiden, you have to watch the My Hero Academia movie.
No,
I know I have to see that one too.
No.
I know. I have so fucking many movies.
He has to.
Anyway. But so this movie, it's a really well done movie, and out of this weekend, I saw 2 movies. This was the better one. But so it's an A24 movie, and we all like A24 here, you know.
I think they're hit or miss probably. They made Hazard Hotel. I like that one.
I think there's more hits
This
than
fucking
miss.
guy, man.
You like Hazard Hotel too.
Yeah, Nicola.
This fucking guy, man.
You like it also.
This
Anyway,
fucking guy, man.
It's kind of like a weird sort of psychological thriller movie, where it's called A Different Man. So Sebastian Stan has they do really good makeup on him. Essentially, he has a disease of a guy who has tumors growing from his face, so his face is all kind of fucked up.
Oh, I know this movie. Yeah.
Hurry,
I keep seeing trailers for it.
That's just a guy. That's just what he looks like.
No, that's the other guy. That's later in the movie. He has makeup on him. So Sebastian Stan, he has so they do really good makeup. It's accurate to what the actual kind of disease looks like, and he has makeup. And he's a struggling actor, but he's the movie is very well in commenting on the idea of identity and all that stuff. It also kind of shows how our perception, our life is very shallow compared to people who don't fit a regular type of thing, and you sort of already kind of judge people who look very different. And the only thing he could really get for his acting role is a short little office sort of thing where it's you gotta be nice to people who look different. So they show different people and trying to include a very office work seminar type of thing.
Sure.
And he's kind of very depressed. He's not having a very good life and all that shit. And then a woman moves in across the door from him, and she's kind of weird, but she she feels, I think when she first saw him, she kind of was startled, so I think she feels bad about that. And then she starts going to him more and talking to him, and he also sees her, and he starts getting kind of a crush on her. But then he sees her with another guy one night, and he's realizing he can never be that guy.
True.
And she's a playwright, and so she takes his what is it, typewriter, and yeah, so she takes it, and then he when he's at the doctor tells him there's this new surgery that could totally
it's called
fix
the substance.
No, he does not
It
take
basically
the substance.
is, though.
Yeah.
It's not the substance. But it
Kind
does
of
play with
is,
the same
though.
idea of identity like the substance does.
Except much less graphically.
Except it's not about drug use.
No, I'll get to it. Anyway.
Oh, it is about drug use.
Not really.
If I had a movie
for every penny that was about drug abuse, I would have 5 movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then so he takes the treatment, and we don't really know if it's working, but then his face starts kind of falling off.
Holy shit, this is the substance.
His face starts falling off, and finally it hurts him so much, and his face falls off, and guess what? It's Sebastian Stan. Imagine you were ugly, and then you took off your face, and it was Sebastian Stan.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing that.
And then
imagine if you took the substance and then outclawed that woman.
Dude, I
Folie?
would. See,
Yeah.
I want to know why she didn't sex herself in that movie. That's my one complaint that I kind of forgot to mention last time.
Layden, that would be non-consensual since one's not.
One is
person.
They are quite literally unconscious.
They're quite literally the same person that share the same.
Yeah, unfortunately, unconscious people cannot drink tea.
Unfortunately, they are the same person.
Guys,
so.
Let me talk about A Different Man. And so, then he finally he's seeing his face. And he's so weirded out by himself, and he's oh, it's so different. And now he decides he like then like he doesn't like I guess tell anyone. He's sort of embracing like this new like good looking identity, and like the doctor comes to the apartment saying, oh, the guy's name is Edward, by the way. Does Edward live here? We haven't seen Edward in any time recently. And then he says, no, Edward killed himself. And and so he says, I'm Guy. Edward killed himself. And so he goes, I'm Guy now. And then like his next door neighbor, she hears this, and then cut to later, and now he's living. He's a real estate agent, and like they're using his face on like billboards and marketing, and, like cardboard cutouts, and so he's like living in like he's finally doing his life well. But then eventually, like one day, he sees sort of this like theater play happening, and it's the woman, and she made a play about him. It's called Edward, and he kind of just stumbles onto stage, and like he auditions, but then because he just kind of like he doesn't realize
he's too hot.
He doesn't realize. Like he just doesn't realize where he is, and so he kind of just fumbles the audition he kind of walked into, and then he just leaves. And this is a really important part of the movie, where while he's doing the surgery, they give him they create a mask of his original face to see like the difference, and so he has the mask, and so then this movie sort of becomes a part where like he starts being obsessive about playing himself in the play, and then. Throughout in more broad strokes, he tries to continue being in this play, and like then he's having like he's sort of losing his mind and all that shit when a guy with the same disease deformity comes in, and he sees that this guy, he's living life to the fullest even with his disease. He's seeing like, and it sort of feels like the idea of like now he's losing it because like now the other guy's like he's starting to take because he finally gets the role, Edward or Guy now in the play, but then the other guy with the same disease, Oswald, he comes in and like he starts playing Edward, and then they kept like pushing him back, and this makes him go crazy. Like sort of the idea like how can he be happy when he's like that, and how am I not happy right now when I'm so much pretty, you know? And sort of just the idea about self-confidence like that. And it really plays with that. I won't like say more of the ending. I really suggest you people watch it. It's like a very profound movie about identity.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, it sounds good.
I would love to watch it, but it's not anywhere. Well, it's at the AMC.
It's only in theaters
at
right
times
now.
that I can't see it at.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You want to go before school starts on Wednesday? I have until 12:40.
I have school on Wednesday.
Anyway, but it's like a really, really profound movie, and like it shows a side of Sebastian Stan that I haven't seen in like a while. Like I never think much about Sebastian Stan as an actor, but this movie made me kind of rethink of like him as sort of like a leading role type of character, because he's usually like more like a supporting character in like movies. Like you got Winter Soldier and all like that stuff. But I've seen him in a few other things here and there, but this is like leading role, and so I'm excited to see how he does in The Apprentice as Donald Trump, though, which is a far different movie.
That's also coming out like really soon.
I have a question.
I hope it's a
Have you guys been seeing the trailer for that movie with Spider-Man and Dune 2
We Live
lady?
in Time?
We Live in Time, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I want to watch that.
I really want to watch that. Yeah,
it kind of looks like it ends with us.
It does, but at the same time, it doesn't look like he's an abuser. So I think it looks like just a romance movie and not.
I think it's just gonna be like thing where she dies at the end, probably like you can't.
It kind of looks like what I thought it ends with us would be.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks really interesting. I want to watch it.
But yeah. So I suggest watching it for me. It's like a really, really interesting movie. That really plays with the idea of identity and like self-confidence, because like what else? I think maybe that's the only thing before I watched Good Will Hunting. Great movie. I love that movie. 4.5. No, his name is Will Hunting.
And so he's good is what it is.
Yeah.
Is he, or does he become good? Like he's bad and then he becomes good, and then you're like,
Kind of.
Apparently, I was the Goodwill that was hunting the whole.
I was the Goodwill shopping center.
It's about like a Boston guy who's good at math, and so.
Oh, so he's good at hunting and math.
He's not good at hunting. That's just his last name.
Dumbass name.
It's one of the best movies I think ever made. It's just such a smart movie. Robin Williams plays such a good character in it. It's like such a good dynamic. They won Oscar, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck for like best screenplay or something. Great movie. I suggested Beck watch it, but when he was sending me reels, you weren't sending me reels.
Well, I'm never on Instagram.
I have like 20 built up reels that are fire.
I have like 50 built up reels that are fire. You have to watch them.
Come to Twitter. I'll send you shit on Twitter.
I don't use Twitter.
Escalated.
I don't use Twitter.
All right.
Let me just make a channel in the Discord where I can just send Twitter links for all of us.
Let me wrap up my singles and then we can get into the group ones.
Well, I have a show that I watched.
Okay.
Well, you can talk first, Beck.
So, another thing I watched, Jurassic World.
Have you seen it before?
No.
Okay. Why did you watch Jurassic World and not Jurassic Park 1 or 2 or 3?
Because I'd seen one before.
Okay.
So,
that I didn't
this might come back later.
I wasn't interested in 2 or 3.
That's fair.
Why do you want to watch Jurassic World? That shit was not very good.
There's
they have a ball
in Fortnite that comes from this movie, and I really like the ball.
I don't think it came from this movie.
It doesn't come from the movie.
It came from this movie.
It did not come from.
It originated from this movie.
No, it didn't actually.
And then it was a collab in Fortnite.
No, it wasn't. There's never been a collab for Jurassic Park.
No, not for Jurassic. This is for Jurassic World, Aiden.
Exactly. Yeah. So again.
So Jurassic World. I haven't seen the first one in a while, but I think I like this one more. Just because, like, the problem I have with Jurassic Park is like it has this like whole idea of like the dinosaur amusement park.
What the fuck?
There's only ever like 5 people there.
Yeah, because it's shut down because there's dinosaurs loose, Beck.
Yes, but this time there are actual people. So you're gonna see like what would happen when the fucking dinosaurs escape and there's 20,000 people on an island. I would have
loved Jurassic Park 3 when he gets lost in New York.
True.
So that's kind of why I liked it a bit more. Like,
Beck, do you just not like any old movies?
Yes, I only like new movies.
He only likes Owl House.
For you?
I thought I established this fact at one point or another that Beck only, maybe even Nicola only likes new.
No, I don't. I like old movies as well.
That's true. It's pretty much.
Nicola, name one old movie.
Vertigo. Dial M for Murder. Rear Window.
Do you like those movies?
Yeah.
No Hitchcock, Nicola.
Wait, so have you seen Rear Window yet, Nicola?
So anyway, so Joker 2. Joker 2.
I have other stuff. So that was Jurassic World. Next, I rewatched Babylon. Now, I have talked about Damien Chazelle. I think I've gone like on an 8 episode streak. Because Aiden watched Whiplash, I watched Whiplash, I watched Whiplash again.
Nicholas watched La La Land every week.
Yeah. So I had to watch another Damien Chazelle movie for this week, and I rewatched Babylon, and I saw it earlier this year, and
it came out
very good, isn't it?
Yeah, it came out 2022.
Okay, that's basically.
I watched it earlier this year, and I really liked it, and then I rewatched it again this year, and I realized, wow, this movie is actually like a masterpiece.
What? I think that's a bit much.
I think that just gasses.
Uri, have you seen this movie?
No. I've heard.
Don't fucking judge the movie if you haven't seen it.
Beck, I think you just gas up your favorite director.
Yeah, because he's fucking goated. I swear, the people that didn't like this movie just have not seen it. This movie is so goated.
Maybe.
But I already talked about it on an earlier.
Is it better
episode.
than La La Land or Whiplash?
Okay, but how much
No.
jazz is in it?
I'd say like my tier list goes like Whiplash, La La Land, Babylon.
Are those
Yeah,
the
but
only
he also has other movies. He has like
He
two
has other
movies.
movies. He has
Wait.
10 Cloverfield Lane, and
He has the trombone one and the person sitting at the bench
So
one.
Becky's progressively getting worse with each movie? Is what you're saying?
no,
I mean, that's what the ranking implies.
because the prison movie is gonna be his best yet.
Yeah? Yeah.
Okay, but how much
Um,
jazz is in Babylon?
There's a big trumpet player who's like a main character.
Okay. Are you sure you didn't
Okay.
just watch this first movie?
And the last thing I watched, which was 4 hours ago, was Look Back.
Yeah.
And this movie has already jumped to number 3 on my 2024 ranking. It's
The
that good.
anime movie by the Chainsaw Man guy?
Yes.
Wow.
Now this movie, I applauded a lot. It's only an hour long, like 59 minutes.
So
so it's
Dumbo.
like-
Feels like a short
So
film.
it's like pretty short, yeah. So I'm gonna give this movie was so annoying to watch because it was released Friday. No, it wasn't even released Friday. It was released like Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, and I watched it today, and it's just gone from theaters forever.
Yeah.
Like you can't watch it anywhere anymore.
That's how movies work, Beck.
That
Yeah,
was
like
annoying.
that.
It was only for like one weekend. It was fucking cringe.
Dun, dun,
So I
dun.
literally,
When I watched Dun Dun Dun, that was only for like 3.
Yeah, I need to talk about that. I forgot I watched
Yeah.
that right before the podcast.
so
Yeah,
I
already talked
I
about
literally
it.
got like
Yeah, but I haven't talked about it
the
myself.
most. I got like like how it goes like A B C. I got B seats. Like I was looking like this the entire time for the movie.
Yeah.
That was us
because
and
the
Joker.
entire theater was packed.
That was not us for the Joker. We were just at an angle.
Okay. So here's what happened in this movie. There is this elementary school girl, and she likes
Of
drawing
course you
comics. And everyone loves the comics she draws. Just like, you are gonna be a comic artist. But then the teacher's like, hey, can you like
Go
give
get a real
one of your
job?
panel slots to this girl who like is like homeschooled? There's a truant student, something like that, where it's like
You don't know what truancy is, Beck?
I don't.
It's when you don't go to school for enough time, and then you get truancy.
Okay, well that happened. So the girl is like just staying in her home, and then she gets to now draw half the comics. And the first time it comes out, the shut-in girl has drawn like the most amazing comics, and everyone's like, wow, compared to this other girl's, this is kind of average, you're not really special anymore. And this girl is so pissed. She spends the next 2 years of her life locked in on drawing, having no social activities with any of her other friends, just fucking locks in for drawing.
Maybe, Beck, if you did that, you'd have a good drawing skill. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you should.
And then eventually, after 2 years, she's still not as good as the other girls. She's like, I give up. And then for like another year, she's like, I'm fucking done. And then she's graduating middle school, and the teacher's like, hey, can you drop off this diploma to this shut-in girl? Because like you guys used to write comics, and I really don't want to do it. So she goes and she drops the thing off. But the girl comes out and is like, I am your biggest fan. Can you sign the back of my jacket?
What?
So this girl is like her mega fan. And then they team up. They team up and they put together like over the course of a year.
I think you and I
like a
should team up.
50-page comic. And it wins a 1 million yen award. And
How much is that in USD?
I don't know. I was gonna look
Check right now. Do it right now.
1 million yen. to
Aiden, I
USD.
can't believe you have two
It is
Morbius.
$6,767.
Yeah, alright, but yeah, when you
Pretty
say
much.
you're surprised I have two Morbius, it was so funny. I opened the disc and I was like, wait, why are there two discs in here? There's
It's
just
probably
two
the-
of them. No, the special features are on both discs.
I think one's like Blu-ray and the other's DVD.
It is, but like, just do both. Nobody uses a DVD player. It's all Blu-ray now.
Actually, all my I only have DVDs. I don't not have any Blu-rays.
How? It's 2024.
Because I haven't bought any anything new. I only have DVDs in my house.
Okay.
Okay, so they decide to team up. They make the manga, and then for the rest of their high school years, they make like 6 more together. They keep working together. They work together, and then like slowly, the main girl's like getting the shut-in girl more like out into the environment, less out of her home. And eventually, the girl's like, "I want to go to art school," but the other girl was offered like her own manga series, like in like a book, and it's like a really big deal. So they eventually split apart.
No.
One goes off to art school and the other goes to make the manga. And she keeps working on the manga. It's insanely successful. It gets an anime adaptation. But then in the side monitor while she's drawing, she sees an axe murderer has gone onto this art school campus.
What?
And has killed the friend.
What a weird twist.
It's such a what a fucking massive twist.
So she dies.
What is this, Bridge to Terabithia?
I don't know what Bridge to Terabithia is, Aiden.
Oh my god. Okay, can I okay, Bridge to Terabithia, at the end of the book, the little girl hits her head on the bridge and drowns.
Ooh.
I read it in like 3rd grade or whatever.
And that's why he's the way he is today.
Yeah.
He fell on his head and drowned in a river.
Great.
Okay, so the girl dies. And now the other girl is like insanely depressed because like this was her best friend. And like she wouldn't be where she is without her. And she also feels bad because like she yelled at her for like wanting to go to art school, not sticking with her. So she goes to her old house and she's like, if only I had just dropped off that graduation certificate outside the door and just never interacted with her, she probably would have still been alive. And then we see an alternate timeline where it's like, if she had done that, she would have still gone to art school. But when the axe murderer appeared, the other girl would have gone and karate kicked him in the back and stolen the pickaxe from him.
The pickaxe.
And they still would have teamed up to do manga.
But she would have been alive, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's all the other girl's fault.
Eventually, she goes into the room and she sees that the girl has posters of her manga all over the walls, every manga copy, and she still has the jacket that she signed when she first came over, and it's really sweet. And she grabs one of the empty 4-panel manga things that she used to work on, and she tapes it right above the window while she's working on her manga. And end of movie.
Nice.
My explanation doesn't do it justice, but it was an insanely good movie.
Well, I did want to see it, so
yeah.
Yeah, this is the week of Uri and Beck both see movies that Aiden wanted to see, but I had no time to see it in theaters. Plus, they weren't showing anywhere near me.
Yeah, it is. It kind of sucks. Now that you actually like want to watch films, you realize how many it's like so hard to watch.
Yeah,
they make films more accessible.
Yeah, that's what streaming's for. Hey, David Zaslav, it'd be cool if you put stuff on streaming. Hey,
Chat. Steven Universe Arc 2?
Oh, you removed Steven Universe? Hey, you also removed Regular Show? Hey, you also removed We Bear Bears. Hey, Max, what do you have? Oh, you have a new episode of Velma for me? Whoa!
Yeah!
Transition.
Guys. No.
Yeah?
October 3rd. For at least 2 weeks now, I have marked it. I have told everyone, Aiden's suicide, October 3rd. And everyone was clueless. They said, Aiden, what's going on October 3rd? little did they know, a new episode of Velma was gonna come out.
Okay, we did figure it out on like October
Is it a
1st.
Halloween
The
special?
Velma
It was a
Halloween
special. So I did record
Isn't
it.
she canonically dead?
Yes. But I did record my reaction. I haven't edited it yet. I will edit down the highlights of it, but I haven't done it yet. But here's what happens. What they did say in the last episode of season 2, which is actually the Halloween episode, because it's part of season 2, is that they can only bring Velma back to life on Halloween. So they're like, guys, it's Halloween. We got to bring Velma back. What do we do?
Please don't.
And Thorn is like, oh, we need to read from the book that I don't have. It's in the library. And then they go to the library and they're like, oh no, an old person dead. What happened? And the cops are like, we think it's the Black Knight. And the Black
but what
Knight
did Scooby do?
He didn't. And the Black Knight is like one of the original monsters from the original series from like the 60s. So that's kind of cool. But they're like, the Black Knight is a ghost. He tried to go to a sexy Halloween party, but they didn't let him because he wasn't sexy. So they killed him. And it's like, damn, they killed him because he wasn't sexy? That's
actually
awful.
crazy.
Damn.
So then they're like, uh-oh. And then Velma's like, I'm going to solve the mystery. And Daphne's like, what? How are you going to solve the mystery?
You're dead.
There's no mystery here. It's just a bunch of murders, as if this hasn't happened twice already. And Velma's like, yeah, but I think we should solve the mystery. And she's like, all right, let's go bring you back to life. And they can't use the book because it might possess them. So Fred buys an audiobook, and they listen to the audiobook of the evil
So that the
book.
audiobook could possess them.
Yeah, and then a not funny joke happens for too long, and then they're like, all right, here's what you need to do. You need to pray to God, and then a light comes down, and then, but also you have to face your biggest fears, and you'll know that you faced your fear when the triangle that just showed up on your wrist glows and then goes away. So then we got to figure out what everyone's greatest fear is. Daphne figures out hers immediately. Hers is FOMO. So that's a great joke that happens the whole episode. Velma also figures hers out immediately, and it is she doesn't want to be forgotten. I hope
she does get forgotten.
I hope she does too. It takes Norville a little bit to figure his out. Oh, it takes Fred 1 second also. He goes to like the concert that they're going to do for the sexy Halloween party that they're still having, even though someone was murdered at that. And do you guys know what was her fucking name again?
Velma?
Saweetie. Do you guys know who Saweetie is?
Sydney Sweeney.
No, Saweetie.
Sydney Sweeney?
No. Okay, so I thought it was Nicki Minaj anyways, this pop artist, Saweetie. I didn't know who she was, but she's in it, and she's having a concert for Velma's coming all back to life sexy Halloween party. And Fred is like, oh no, my biggest fear is having a job. So then he does a job. He does jobs, and that's supposed to be funny. And Norville is like, oh no, my biggest fear is.
See, this is why I wish why I wish this show had Shaggy and like real Shaggy and Scooby. That way it could be like, oh, my biggest thing is being hungry.
True, that would be hilarious. No, his biggest fear is making people he cares
being
about
sober.
upset. No, making people he cares about upset.
Not being super
they all
high.
Figure out their things immediately. And then also they find the ghost, and the ghost kidnaps Daphne. And Velma's like, oh no, Daphne, you got kidnapped by the ghost. And the ghost is like, actually, I'm just a nerd. I don't kill people. And they're like, okay, who killed you? And then they figure it out. It was actually all of their parents killed him. All of the parents of all the children killed him. And they're like, why would they do that? And then they go to the school and they figure it out. And they're like, mom, dad, other dads, why did you kill this guy? And they're like, oh, because he's a fucking peeping Tom. He's a pervert. He was watching us make out. And then we chased him away. And then we all collectively tripped on one branch and tripped onto him, and he fell off a cliff. So they didn't murder him. They just accidentally murdered him. And they were okay. That was all okay. So
manslaughter split 8 ways.
Exactly. So that was all okay. But Daphne's got to go to the Halloween party. Or she can't, or no, hold on. What is it? They got to go to the party for some reason because if the Black Knight didn't do the murders, then somebody did do the murders. So they got to go to the Halloween party because there's going to be a murders. And then there is a Black Knight murder guy, but it's actually the old grandma from the library that wasn't set up as a bad guy at all. And then she's evil and possessed by the book. She's flying around and she's like, I'm going to kill all of you. And then they're like, wait a minute. What if we be sexy in our own special ways that aren't being sexy? So then they do not sexy things that are supposed to be sexy. And then Peeping Tom guy keeps watching and they're like, ew, that's nasty. And then they all are like, uh-oh, bad news. It's not working anymore. And then Velma's like, guys, I have an idea. And then she gets dragged to hell.
So true, where she belongs.
She grabs the old grandma lady and she goes to hell. And I started clapping. I said, thank God.
Let's go. It's done. Velma's
and she
over.
actually gets dragged to hell. It's not like she comes back, but she gets dragged to hell. And then she have a funeral. And they're like, damn, she actually died. And then she wakes up in her coffin and I was mad. She woke up in her coffin, in her body. She's back. They didn't even explain it. And Fred is possessed by the audiobook. So now the best character in the show is out of the show. Also, Uri, did you know that Fred was voiced by Dennis from It's Always Sunny?
Glenn Howerton?
Yes.
Did not know that.
I didn't know that either. Apparently he is, though. Fucked up.
Yeah.
I hated watching that shit. It was 40 minutes.
Is it over, Velma, now? No season 3?
No, there's gonna be a season 3. Wait,
it's confirmed?
Probably, dude. Probably.
Fuck!
Oh my god,
So you're telling me
he's
they
flying away from the
made
train.
Velma worse?
He's morbing.
You're telling me they made Velma worse?
It's about the same as it is. The same bad.
Okay.
I'm not a bad guy.
But what is another sequel that
anti-hero.
was bad?
Dandadan.
I have another show that I watched.
Oh,
Wait, Beck.
I still haven't talked about
Beck, should I give you
Dandadan.
5 minutes of Attack on Titan?
Oh yes, my 5 minutes of Attack on Titan, guys.
Okay, Beck, I'm timing you.
Guys,
In 3, 2, 1.
it's taken me a long time to finish Attack on Titan. I think I started like 6 months ago, or longer than that. And then like at the beginning of school, I like restarted it back up again, and then I actually got into it this time. I don't want to like try to break down the story because I could barely get through it in 5 minutes, but I want to say I think it does like foreshadowing and insanely well, and also like keeping an insane pace where it's like you feel like the status quo has shifted like every episode and then majorly every 5 episodes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I feel like that's too much status quo shifting.
No, but it's like interesting stuff that like what's happening now, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, and again, I think the foreshadowing is like insanely crazy. Like you could tell it's like it's 4 seasons long. They had this planned out before they even started writing episode 1. Like so much stuff leads back into each other and like comes back.
Well,
And it's not like they retroactively tried to add it in, you know?
it is a manga, Beck. You realize that, right?
Okay, yeah, but it's also like in the manga, it was also like that. So the guy just had the story planned out from the beginning.
Was it like that in the manga? How do you know?
Because it's adapting.
And you read the manga?
I did not read the manga.
So you
bro.
don't know. You're just saying shit that doesn't fucking matter because
It does. Oh my god, Aiden.
no, because Beck,
It's
what
like
you're
that
saying,
in the manga.
why? How do you know that it is like that in the manga?
Because I've watched videos and they go like, yeah, it's like this in the manga.
You could have just said that. You didn't have to say that it's also like this in the manga because it's an adaptation. Because I've seen adaptations of things, and guess what? They're not accurate most of the time.
Okay. The one thing I will say is like, do you guys care if I spoil this or no?
I don't care.
No, not at all.
Okay, so the main character at the end of the show, his plan is to commit genocide on the entire world.
Why did Eren Yeager do that?
I don't know why Eren Yeager did that. That's kind of one of my main problems with it.
You didn't know
There's
that
a
beforehand?
weird ass thing where if he touches someone with royal blood, he can somehow see the past and the future, and he can't change the future. And the
entire thing is that it's a time loop, and then because of the time loop, he kind of has to commit genocide, or else, like it's not really like he has to. It's more like if he doesn't, then it's not the universe. It's like you know how Mr. Manhattan is like bound by time because he can see all of time, so he can't actually have free will. It's kind of like that.
Is it like how pops and anti-pops have to fight each other no matter what?
Probably. It's like they're like they have no free will because they're slaves to time because they see all of time.
Yeah,
and all of actions are predetermined.
But I don't know. It's like very confusing. At least the ending. But I mean, I still did like it all the way through. It was really good. All the characters were insanely compelling. Again, the world building I feel like was insanely good.
What did you think of the 8 episodes it took to make one?
What did you say?
How did the 8 episode that could have been 1 episode finale turn out?
Yeah. So that is the one thing that I didn't have to deal with the problems that a lot of people did when the show was
remembering when it came out, like the finale, part 1, part 3 of part 2 of part 1.
So there's Attack on Titan, the final season, which is season 4, and I think that was released in a ton of different parts. But then adding on to that, there was 2 special episodes that were each an hour and a half, consisting of I think 2 or 3 different chapters each.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then those were released separately, and those are on Letterboxd. And then those 2 are being released as a movie in theaters.
And Beck, that is your time for your 5 minutes of
okay, I would recommend you watch it. It's really good.
I'll give you one last finishing thought.
You just said
no, just that.
Okay.
All right, I guess my one thing is I have to talk about Dandadan.
Yeah, which I talked about like 2 weeks ago, and then he forgot.
Yeah. Basically, I found out the first
also
episode.
need to watch it.
I've been seeing stuff about it, and I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. The animation looks good.
Tell me when episode 4 comes out.
Yeah, only episode 1 is out right now. So I watched episode 1.
The first 3 episodes.
Yeah. So I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, the animation's pretty good. And then I got to the one part, and I'm like, oh, this is a Gooner anime.
Oh, yeah, that part.
It is a Gooner anime, I think.
Aiden, what was that experience like in theaters?
So fucking funny, dude. It was hilarious.
Do you want to explain the scene to Uri, who doesn't know what the scene is?
Alien rape.
What happened? What?
Alien rape. The aliens try to rape the middle schooler.
She's a high schooler, is she not?
She's not. No, they're middle school.
She's a middle schooler? That's even crazier.
Yeah.
Hilarious show. Hilarious though. It was
also,
funny.
I don't get the thing. Why is she obsessed with the guy, and why does the guy turn out to be the other guy?
It's like a famous Japanese person in the show, and she thinks it's basically like if I had a crush on somebody. I have a crush on Sydney Sweeney in IRL, right? Like you do, and then I meet somebody whose name is Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, I see.
It's basically that.
Holy shit. Beck knows a person named Margaret Qualley.
That's crazy, dude. Oh, have sex! Poop my pants, Poop my pants,
Is that still Morbius?
Have sex! Yeah, it's Morbius.
Guys, we do know that podcasts are longer than movies.
Yeah.
Why watch Megalopolis? Why watch
goes
Megalopolis when you can watch a 3-hour Celsius pod?
I still do really
Yeah.
want to watch Megapolis in IMAX.
I would love to watch Megalopolis.
If you can get tickets, I will go with you, and I will even drive.
Maybe.
Okay. Anything else?
All right. That's everything I've watched.
I have one more thing. So recently, a couple, like a month ago or whatever, the show Abbott Elementary announced that they were going to do a special crossover with something, and then a photo came out this week, 2 photos of the cast of Sunny with the cast of Abbott Elementary. So we're gonna get.
They're both in Philadelphia.
They're both in Philadelphia, so we're getting an It's Always Sunny and Abbott Elementary crossover. And I've been meaning to watch Abbott Elementary, so I started it. And
pretty good.
It is pretty good, actually. I've seen through season 1. I'm like episode 5 of season 2. How much did you watch the whole show, Uri?
I've seen the whole show. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty good show. It's like a nice little sort of Parks and Rec type of show.
It's very pleasant.
Yeah, it seems a lot very like wholesome, you know?
Yeah.
Even though like the characters, like you have like the characters being like rude or assholes to each other, when they're like in presence of the children, they're just like very sweet.
It's like if you like Parks and Rec and like sort of like The Office or those types of shows, you'd like Abbott Elementary. But I do not know how are they going to do that. They seem like two different shows.
This is what, because here's what I want. Yeah, that's what I'm also. Do we think that Abbott's going to Patty's or the gang is going to Abbott? Because
I think gang is going to Abbott, and
right?
I think they're going to become. I think it's going to be more like Sunny goes more Abbott than Abbott goes Sunny.
Yeah, I think it has to be that way. I don't know how any of it is supposed to work, like at all. I don't know how any of the characters are going to interact because the characters are so different.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that I can physically imagine is Charlie and Janine get along really well.
Yeah.
Mac wants to kill Jacob. And
maybe Ava
Frank tries his best not to say any slurs.
I know, maybe
Dennis gets shut down by both Donna and Melissa.
Yeah.
And then D is just there. I have no clue how it's gonna work.
Maybe like Frank and Melissa, their mob, I don't know, like sort of like a sketchy kind of thing. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
I know maybe Ava will do something with either Dennis or Charlie or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting. I wonder when it comes out. Probably. I wonder if it's gonna be for the next season of Sunny or Abbott.
Probably Abbott.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that we get both, like the Austin and Allie Jesse episode, where each show has one episode of it.
Yeah.
That way we could see. Abbott like at Patty's or something.
It sounds really interesting.
It sounds so funny because the characters are so different.
Yeah,
I don't know. I do want to talk about Abbott a little bit, just like the characters in general. I think they're all really good.
All the characters are pretty strong.
I don't think the show itself is like all too funny, but I think like the character interactions are like they're all really well written. All the characters are, and there's not like a character that I don't like. Okay, now there is. Now they introduced like Melissa's aide, and I find her super annoying.
She's not in the show that much. She's only in a little bit, really.
Okay, good.
It's going to be in the season 4 of Abbott, which premieres in October. So.
Okay. So I'll try to finish it up.
As in the month we're in right now.
Yes.
Not next year.
Okay.
No.
Because legitimately, I'd watch that episode. I've seen one episode of Abbott Elementary, but I think I'd watch the It's Always Sunny Abbott Elementary crossover.
Yeah. But I like all the like even ones that like Ava. I don't really like her as a character, but she's hilarious. Like she's the funniest character, I think. But like I hate her with my whole being.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty fun show just based on the character dynamics. They've created like some pretty strong characters on the show, and so it's because both Sunny, I would say, and Abbott Elementary have strong characters.
Yeah,
and so it's going to be interesting to see how interactions,
Yeah.
And like a crossover episode, yeah.
I hope it's longer than 20 minutes. I don't think it will be, but I think they need more than 20 minutes to do it justice.
Yeah, I think it'd probably just be an average episode of either one.
Yeah.
But it's exciting. It's exciting.
And I'll keep watching Abbott. I think it's a really good show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna come out in season 4, so we'll probably watch that soon. Eventually.
If I can watch Abbott quick enough, because season 1 is like 13 episodes, and then season 2 is like 30.
That was literally me with Adventure Time.
Yeah, I know.
I think season 3 is like about the same as season 2, I think.
Oh, is it?
Something like that. But yeah, pretty good show. And Nicola, do you want to talk about the penguin?
Sure, I can start it off. Have we talked about episode 2 yet?
We talked about episode 1 and 2.
So episode 3 basically picks off where episode 2 ended. They finally are gonna go secure the shipment they've been talking about for a while. And
it's a drug called Bliss that they use on
Bliss, and it's basically shrooms, but it's not just shrooms; it's the spores of the shrooms.
And they use them on inmates in Arkham.
So have you? Okay, here's the thing. Have you guys played
Arkham?
Detroit Become Human?
I have. Nicola.
You know the red ice?
Yeah.
It's just that. It's basically just red ice.
Okay.
There's this
red ice from Ocarina of Time.
Notice how nobody's laughing.
I'm not laughing. Nobody's played Ocarina of Time. That's crazy.
I've not played Ocarina of Time.
Which is crazy.
All right, now it's time for my segment about cars.
That's the Citizen Kane of video.
Okay, anyway, back to the penguin.
People keep like hyping it up, but I don't think it's that good.
You haven't played it. You can't say anything.
It's back to the penguin.
Anyway, Nicola, I'm gonna say, don't you see how this episode the show really gets going?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I said that towards the end of the second episode where I was like, it just took a while to pick up, but once it gets going, it's good.
Well,
the first half of the first episode was too slow for me.
I would say this episode was pretty good in establishing. So in this episode, there's not that much that goes on, but essentially, Sophia and the penguin they connive to sell their party drug that was the shipment. It's Bliss, this party drug that they use on inmates in Arkham to make them submissive.
And docile.
And essentially, we're seeing how that Sophia still doesn't fully trust the penguin because he's the one who kind of let her to be caught to be put in Arkham. And I definitely got some sort of maybe some romantic vibe pass from them, I would say. That's my
No, I did not get that vibe at all.
I got kind of that.
No, at least I don't see it at all. No.
I mean, you wouldn't fuck with the penguin?
No, it's more I just don't see anything between those two.
I know. But we see that in this episode that Oz, he's a fully, I really like him in the show as compared to the Batman. And here you get a really full sense of character. This episode also heavily focuses on Victor. It starts off him at his house. But then when the Riddler did the bombs, his whole family died.
Yeah, it starts with a flashback to the day the bombs went off. Yeah, basically.
Imagine. And so we
like,
see
why
how
would
that
they
really
place their house
him.
directly facing the tsunami? Are they stupid?
Yeah, they should build it away from the dam.
But essentially, this episode was really good in sort of establishing the relationships and furthering the plot from the last 2 episodes. Finally cementing, because in the first 2 episodes, you get the feel that Victor feels like he's just hostage of the penguin. But in this episode, you finally get to see, he doesn't want to be with the penguin, so he leaves, but then decides, he can't leave. He wants to life. And so it shows some character agency, which is always what you want in a good story. You don't want the characters to be forced into doing something. You want them to do the actions because they're doing it. And now, because they do those actions, then they have to do these other things. So in this episode, he leaves, but then he decides he's still going to stay with the penguin, and he saves the penguin from being shot at the end of the episode. And earlier in the episode, when he told him he was going to leave, he was like, the penguin is really hurt by that. He was all like, fuck. He basically like, you want to leave? You want to leave? He was kind of like almost crying about it, really. He was like, he was like really affected that the only guy that kind of likes him is leaving him because nobody really likes the Penguin, which is kind of the point of the show that the Penguin and Sophia, they both feel like outsiders in the show.
The Outsiders?
Like
Guys,
the movie.
Like the book?
No, like outsiders of like in society.
Are they gonna say stay gold, Pony Boy?
Anyway,
Stay gold,
guys,
Conan boy.
but this episode I really suggest you guys to watch it. It's a really good like continuation of the show, and like this show is so great. I don't know, what about your thoughts, Nicola?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, that's
All
all
right,
you have to
time for
say.
Nicola
That's
Carr's
all
segment.
Nicola.
Oh my god,
the
talk about the
Nicola Cars.
talk
segment.
about
So
the
we've got
cars and
a
the Penguin.
lot of news in the car world.
It's the
And by a
Nicola
lot of
F1.
news, I mean that McLaren just unveiled their new car, the W1.
The
And
W Riz.
And it looks really good. It's the successor of the F1 and the P1.
What does this have to do with film?
Nothing. But it looks really good. And the car looks gorgeous. It has apparently 1,000 horsepower just from the engine
1,000.
alone, I think, and then plus some more from the electric motor. And then it's rear wheel drive only, but it has DRS and boost that can get it up. And the rear wing it has exactly 1,000 pounds of downforce.
And
I don't know
what were you gonna say? And you were saying the rear what?
The rear wing, when it's fully extended,
Rear wing. Okay.
fully like contributes to like 75, 80%
What
of the
about the
downforce.
rear window?
Yeah, do they have a window in that car?
There is a rear window on the car because that is kind of required.
What if it wasn't required?
Actually, it's not 100% required. Some cars don't have it. But
it is required. and you gotta
I
write
also-
an essay on it.
Hey, you think things are required in cars? Hey, did you know it's required that you should be able to open the trunk from the inside of your car?
We can talk about this. We can talk about this.
Yeah, I think this is way funnier. My
Did
car.
Aiden get locked in his trunk?
No, my
No.
battery in my car died.
His battery died. And me being a good Samaritan and having taken auto was like, I can jump your car for you.
Yeah, and so my battery, like Nicola's, is in my trunk.
So let me give you a rundown. First thing we do is we bring the front of the cars together because, that's what you do.
Because that's where batteries are.
I pop my hood and I'm like, fuck, I drive a BMW and BMW puts the battery in the back along with the gas tank because weight, and it balances the weight of the car.
Yeah.
So I drive away, spin the car around, do the most perfect parallel parking I've ever done, and get up right behind him. Did you see the parallel parking though? That was actually pretty fire.
It's pretty good shit.
Yeah. So I finally got it. I got rear end to front end, open that shit up. Battery's there. I then look closer at Aiden in front of his car. He also does not have a battery in the front of his car. I look online. Turns out the battery is also in his trunk. So then we try to figure out how to get to his battery in the trunk because we figured out you can't open the trunk without power.
Because the only way to open the trunk is the button. It's an electrical button on the outside, or the button on my dash, which is also an electrical button. So I couldn't open my trunk.
Yeah.
And I can't unlock anything because my key fob doesn't work when my car is off.
Yeah.
You just
greasy.
turn the car on.
Yeah.
So back, what you're missing is the fact that that's not possible when
Because
my
the battery
just
is
like-
not
So-
dead.
If you had seen Breaking Bad, you'd know how to do this. So you need the brake pads and some kind of liquid solution.
It's not. Bro failed chemistry. Anyway, well, to my knowledge, every car is required by law to have an emergency release lever, so you can't kidnap people.
Exactly.
Or you can't get locked in your car.
Exactly.
So we spend a while looking for it until
And
we
by
finally give up.
By we mean me, Nicola, my mom, my sister, boyfriend, my other sister, her boyfriend, and two random people that drove past,
Yeah.
all trying to figure out how do
just
I
two
open
people
the
walk by?
trunk to this car?
Two people drove by and they were like, "Do you guys need help?" And we were like, "No, we got it."
Aiden, perchance did you buy this from a Yakuza member?
No, I bought it from.
Well,
the
we
bar
looked
man.
online, and apparently Ford decided that's not necessary to have an emergency release
I
lever in
looked
the
for
back.
like 30 minutes at a later time, and nothing was there. So many people were like, hey, my battery is dead and the battery's in the trunk. How do I open the trunk? And everyone was like, oh, you can't.
Yeah. We love Ford. Ford genius.
It's
Well,
so funny.
We finally figured it out online and by looking at the user manual that there's 2 spots in the front. There's like 2 spots for the positive and the negative in the front of the car. That's like, it does not look like it's where it's supposed to, because the positive is hooked up to the fuse box and does not look like a battery at all. And the negative is just like a long nail, basically, like a wrong bolt. When we finally figured it out, it's like, okay, now we can do it. So I hook up my back, I hook up him, I jump his car, and it's finally good. Then, also something else I found out about my car, I have to take out like so much stuff to be able to get to my battery. I basically have to rip the entire trunk open and apart to get to the battery.
Yeah. Which is really funny too.
Yeah. So after I jumped his car, I disconnected the wires, I reassembled my trunk, and I finally was able to go home.
You didn't go home,
missing in Palo
I
Alto.
didn't know. I went for like 5 minutes to my friend's house because he lives like 10 houses down from Aiden. And then I went home.
When my car finally got jumped, I had to drive 30 minutes. Before I left for my 30-minute drive to reach the battery.
Wait, Aiden.
Yeah.
Your car was mugged?
No, what are you talking?
You said it was jumped.
Yeah, but the battery, dude.
Your car was beat up?
Yeah, it was beat up by the
Such a funny joke, guy.
By society and life.
Yo, guys, we live in a society.
Is that a transition to the next topic? Joker for the
The
guy?
last topic?
Okay, so guys,
Joker
is
for
anybody in favor of this movie like really hardly? Really?
It is
I don't think it's that bad of a movie.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't
okay.
either.
Yeah, I also don't think it's that bad. People are overhating it so hard.
Yeah,
people are so overhating
Beck
it.
gave it a 3, and then me and Nicola gave it a 3.5.
That's too much.
We
No, it's
thoroughly
really not.
enjoyed the movie.
We
thought it was
enjoyed the
good.
movie. Okay.
Uri, 2.5 is crazy.
Sorry, Uri,
Yeah, I know.
this might sound hypocritical, but both me and Aiden have not seen the first movie.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
off.
that was fucking crazy to me. Aiden preaching on your fucking high horse. Going, Beetlejuice 2 without Beetlejuice 1? No! But then you see Joker 2, and you're like, why are you so serious?
No,
because it's different. Because it's different. Because listen, Joker came out 5 years ago versus Beetlejuice coming out 40 years ago.
I swear.
No.
Joker 1 and Joker 2 are more connected than Beetlejuice 1 and Beetlejuice 2.
That is true.
The fact that I could watch a 4-minute recap of the first movie and understand the entire movie completely says something about Joker 2, though, I think, and how connected they are.
Yeah. So anyway, the movie was not as bad as everybody was saying. I think that the acting was good. The cinematography was good. The only thing that was like, I just didn't really have any problems with it. Like, it's not an exceptional movie, but it's an I would say it's an above average movie.
Yeah, I think they could have gone harder with the musical.
Yeah, I think they should have leaned. That's my biggest complaint. They should have just leaned completely into the musical.
Okay, so let's first, before we get yelling at each
me and Aiden already knew that your biggest complaint was that it's going to be a musical because you hate fun. But let's hear it.
Okay, first let's describe what happens in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie follows from the last one. Joker's in prison, and this is first kind of my big issue with this second movie. That since you guys haven't seen the first one, in the first one you leave a lot by having a sequel. You confirm a lot of what happens did happen. Whereas if you just had one movie, you're like, did it actually happen? We don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's something I think everybody can agree on is that this movie didn't really need to exist.
It did not need to
Yeah,
exist.
this movie did
at all.
not need to exist.
True.
That's one thing I think we can all. It did not need to exist because by having it, therefore you confirm that a lot of what happened in the first one did actually happen. So that's
like to build on that point, Uri, is I feel like this film is kind of just analyzing the first Joker film.
Yeah.
So
what
like,
if the Joker was blue and yellow?
I think
What?
we can. I think okay. This
Don't wanna
is
see
how I
blue and
think we
yellow.
should each do this.
Where's my phone?
I'll say the plot of the movie, and then we can each say how we all felt about it. Sort of it ends with us style, I guess.
I think that's a great idea. Wait, let me talk about the first 5 minutes because I clapped for it.
Oh yeah,
So
it's like
wait,
it starts.
I
It
just
starts
would
off
like
with
to
a
clear
little-
something up quickly.
Yeah.
Uri has given Joker 2 the same rating he has given The Rise of Skywalker. He
Okay,
thinks
that's-
those are the same level of
Yeah,
quality.
Rise of Skywalker should be lower.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, but it's that's not. I don't have that same rating scale like you, Becky. It's like there are different levels at that point because for different reasons for me.
Mm.
But okay, so essentially the animation at the beginning it shows like a little Joker.
let me talk about this. So
So
basically,
talk
you're full
about
of
that,
shit.
'cause-
the Looney Tunes circle and they play the merry-go-round broke down because they remembered that they own the Looney Tunes. Warner Brothers did. So then there's an animated thing where Joker and his shadow, they go to the Murray show and Joker's getting ready to be on the Murray show. And then the shadow actually traps him in a closet and pretends to be him, but he also did a bunch of bad things. And then Joker, Arthur Fleck leaves, and he's like, "Oh, I'm on stage now with my shadow." And then they swap places, and then the Joker gets beat up by the cops because it's a metaphor. How
It's a metaphor for the Joker because like it's a different personality.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and so but from that, essentially. The movie, so Joker's in prison and like Arthur Fleck actually is in prison.
Yeah.
And he's going to go on trial and his lawyer is telling him like, if we can tell the court that, Joker is a different personality from you, we could like maybe get you off or something,
Like you get him off.
Aiden, are you gonna do a fucking meme every single thing?
Yeah, I actually don't know what was.
Say that and expect
I
him not
actually
to comment.
don't know what the lawyer's plan was, because if he did that, it would be just an insanity plea, which means he would just go back to Arkham.
Yeah, he's already in Arkham, which is confusing.
No, he would go to like a more of a medical hospital.
No, the only mental asylum in Gotham is Arkham.
No, he literally says, "I'm gonna get you out of here to real doctors, not these guys."
Yeah, he would just be moved from the East Wing to the West Wing. It would still be Arkham.
The West Wing is good in the Beast.
Either way, he would be in a better situation than he is now.
You know what's interesting? That they have a bridge from Arkham Asylum to the city. That's the only use of the bridge. What the fuck?
It's basically Alcatraz, except they made a bridge to it.
True.
I would, anyway. But we follow him, and it's like we see how the myth. There's protests outside, and like we see the myth of the Joker being.
Oh, also no, Uri, that does make sense because criminals are constantly breaking out of Arkham.
Yeah, that is also that is.
So it kind of makes sense that they have an easy route to get out of Arkham, because it's like canonic that Arkham fucking sucks.
It is true that Arkham sucks. They do that a lot.
Guys, let me finish just saying the movie.
No,
you don't got to talk about it because you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna mute both of you.
I haven't said anything for like 30 seconds, dude. What are you talking
You're
about?
saying 30 seconds? Like that's a long time. Anyway,
30 seconds is a long time. Have you ever 30 seconds in your head?
guys, let's play the silent game for 30 seconds.
Anyway, so the protest outside.
But Uri failed.
And
failed too.
Guys, shut the fuck up. Anyway, and so he's doing the protest, and like he's like his lawyer says she can probably like help him if they say like Joker's a different personality, and this is just kind of the bare bones where he sees like Lee in this movie, Harley, and he starts like. I did not like that she was just called Lee, but
that is something else. That was a little bit.
I think we all hated that.
And
it's not really Lady Gaga. I mean, it's not really Harley. It's just Lady Gaga, but
True.
Yeah. And so he meets, and so she starts like she's like a big like proponent of the Joker. She's like, I watched your TV movie a bunch of times, and essentially she's in this sort of scenario in this movie. compared to the original kind of like dynamic of the relationship, she's the more in control one, and Joker is actually the more like
yeah, that's something I also noticed, and I wasn't.
backstage,
I was
which is not a fundamentally bad. It could be. It's a very interesting thing, I think, if it was done well, in my opinion. But I don't think it was.
True.
And so she's more in control in this scenario, and she's saying like, and something in this movie, it's less. You're very clear what happens in this movie. Where in the first movie, it could have been like a lot of it was like in his head, but in this movie, you're very clear on what is in his head and what isn't in his head, and because you see it very explicitly. But and anyway, he's like he falls for her, and he's like, he decides he does not want to listen to his lawyer, so he decides to represent himself. And we see Harvey Dent is a prosecutor in this case. I don't really think that was necessary since they don't really do anything with him.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
they
do.
just had a lawyer. They wanted to make him.
No, they do. He gets blown up at the end, and that makes him Two-Face.
His face was fine.
His face was fine.
No,
His face was not fine, huh?
His face, you see his face anyway, and so the movie is kind of just like a bunch of different like music numbers about the Joker and his personality, and like is the Joker, and so the movie kind of analyzes like, is Arthur really the Joker? Or is he just like a fake personality of the Joker that he's making up? And then we see how like the myth is perpetuated in the public eye, and like Harley's being the big leader of the cause, and he's like she wants people to Arthur to stand for something, and he's like he sort of revels in sort of like being the Joker, and but meanwhile like at the prison, the guards, they don't like Arthur at all, really, and like they keep making fun
they
of
liked him up until he called them all fat asses.
Yeah.
True.
So they rape him.
Before the movie, they make fun of him, and like they a joke for a cigarette or something like that. Sort of they kind of put him down, and essentially it all kind of like my biggest issue is like I feel like nothing really substantial really happens until like the end of the movie is my biggest issue.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really feel that.
It's a bunch of just music numbers of songs that I don't really think are that interesting.
That's what. Okay, like he doesn't fuck with Frank Sinatra, bruh.
I like Frank Sinatra.
Bro doesn't fuck with "We're Gonna Build a Mountain."
Anyway, and so
that's what I'm saying. If they would have fully leaned into the musical, it would have been better.
Yeah.
And eventually,
it was really funny because I went with this person and they knew every single song when it played.
I also knew every single song when it played.
Really?
I love listening to oldies.
Even Folie, the new one?
Wait, were none of the songs?
No, one of them was.
Only the Lady Gaga's one.
What? Oh, really? Every other song wasn't?
Yeah.
Most of them were old songs, yeah.
Oh,
Bro thought Dancing in the Moonlight was a Joker original.
No, I thought.
Bro thought That's Life by Frank Sinatra was the Joker original.
No, I thought the ones that they sing were original songs, but they're not.
Anyway, eventually.
Some of them aren't.
Eventually,
maybe I might then go down a half a star then.
Eventually, it goes down to a point where he's defending himself in court, and I got so much secondhand embarrassment watching him try to question Gary.
Puddles? Your name is Puddles.
Yeah, but that's low-key the point of the scene.
It is I think that scene is pretty good.
Yeah, no, that scene was good.
But then he's like, I'm not the Joker. And he admits that it's not real. It's just
no. That's after he gets raped, though.
Yeah.
And so he goes to Arkham, and he gets the Joker raped out of him, which is what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
We did not need that.
We did not need that. I was just what are you doing?
I mean, I think it was more his friend in prison getting murdered outside of his cell than getting stripped naked was what did it.
He also got raped.
He didn't, though. He just got stripped naked and dragged around.
No, he did get raped.
He did get raped.
He very clearly got raped.
He got raped.
They dragged him into the showers and pulled his pants off.
They very much imply he got raped.
Yeah.
And so he gets, and then he's like, "I'm not the Joker." And this like, we've actually in the middle of the movie find out that Harley. She says to him, we live from the same neighborhood, and she's revealed that actually the lawyer tells him, she's rich. She voluntarily checked herself in, which sort of makes sense because she comes to him in his solitary confinement, which I don't know is maybe. And then they also have sex, and she says she's pregnant later in the movie. But it's probably not true.
That is definitely not true.
The Joker baby. No, my theory is that because of what happens in the ending, that baby is the real Joker.
We know. No, that's not. No.
That's kind of stupid. I do have a really funny idea, or I have this fan theory about the ending.
But we'll get to the ending.
Oh, sorry. The psychopath is the Joker.
We'll get to the ending. And so, essentially, he's like in court. They eventually reveal that they say the verdict. He's guilty. But then the courthouse blows up because of Joker protests outside, and they manage to get him away. But he's like, he decides he runs away from the guys who kind of like help him into the car, literally proving that he's running away from the Joker identity. That's yeah.
This scene was literally just the first case of Ace Attorney Dual Destiny.
Where they blow up the courthouse?
Detonate.
Yeah, that's what I wrote in my review. I just said the name of the case. That was my whole review.
And then he meets
my review was just La La Land 2024 because it kind of is.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And then he meets.
What do you mean? Harley and Joker doesn't.
I don't
Harley
know
and Joker doesn't end up together.
I cannot understand it on like a basic level.
What do you mean? They're Harley and Joker don't end up together. It's a musical. That's about it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we're literally him.
Can I finish?
No.
And then he meets up with Harley outside, and like she's like, no, I don't want to be with you. No. And then she walks away, and he gets caught by the police again. He goes back into Arkham, and the ending, he's walking, and then a prisoner who we saw earlier in the movie comes up to him and says like a joke, like, "Hey, a psychopath goes to a clown in a bar," and you know what he says to the clown? "You get what you fucking deserve." And then he stabs him, and Arthur just fucking dies. And then the other guy carves a smile to him, implying that he's the fucking Joker, I guess.
The Joker. What if the Joker?
And so let me get into my thoughts about the fucking movie. I did not enjoy this movie, mainly because I guess since you guys didn't see the first one, for me, I wanted more of like the first vibe. And like I've been hearing a lot of the type of this thing that he wrote this movie, Todd Phillips, as an FU to the Joker fans of the original one, which I guess one thing I will give this movie, it's not the cash grab I thought, mainly because it didn't make fucking money. But
it's bombing so much.
It's not, because at least I could say it has a vision. It definitely has a vision, but I just don't like that vision in any sense.
Guys, Jason Blum just said he liked it.
Fuck Jay, he's made so much shitty horror movies.
True.
Anyway, and so
I think the movie is kind of just like analyzing the first film, all the characters being like, because there was a movie based, like they keep saying like this TV movie that was made, and then they're like, well, I was in this TV movie and they portrayed me this way, and it's like they're very clearly just talking about the first movie. It's
I think they're talking about the animated.
Is that the TV movie? Because I feel like that's too short.
Well, I don't know. It could have
been. Because the fake girlfriend isn't in the intro movie, but she talks about being in the movie.
Yeah, but Harley's also
more
just
like
a stalker.
like sort of like the thing where people like the biopic shows like maybe O.J. Simpson.
The beginning of the next season of The Boy, after he tries to blow up Madeline Stillwell, and it starts with the documentary of Butcher blowing up Madeline Stillwell. It's like that.
Anyway, and so well, I feel like it was in a precarious spot where it's like it every time it did like a musical number, I fucking rolled my eyes because like either go fully into a musical or just stop doing this weird like halfway musical that I don't care to listen to any of the songs. I rolled my eyes. 14 musical numbers, all of them I didn't give a shit about. Maybe the one at the wedding was kind of interesting, and then the one where he blows himself in the head, but it's like I don't know, it's just like too many
He
things
blows
that
himself.
I didn't.
What?
Too many things where he back. Shut the fuck up.
I could go for a Joker blow dry.
And like I just didn't care for that at all. And I don't know. It's like the movie. Okay, I get it. I thought was like finally okay.
Not enough society for Uri Ponte.
The thing is, like, we finally get to see him at the end of the first one be the Joker. So I feel like obviously this isn't that type of movie. I get it. He's not gonna be the comic book Joker, but at least something where he fully embraces that form in the second movie. When this instead they just go for a weird analyzation that, you know, he isn't that guy at the end of the movie. It's fake, you know. He didn't become him, and I don't know, man. And then he gets fucking raped or something.
Well, now that I'm on what was carrying me was that the numbers were cool,
What?
but now what I thought the musical numbers were good, and I did think they fit, but then now you said that they aren't original.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so
they're all old songs.
I bumped my score down because that kind of ruins it. Because if they were original songs, probably would have been better. So now I'm also at 3.5.
And
Or I'm
the
at
thing-
3. Now I'm at 3.
3.
It still isn't like the worst movie.
It's not the worst movie.
I still enjoyed it a lot.
I don't know, because the thing is, like, and this is why I did not like the ending at all, because like, okay, it's actually not the origin about Joker Arthur Fleck. It's actually about how that guy was inspired by Arthur Fleck. And like, okay, fine, but why was I watching Arthur Fleck for like 4 hours in 2 movies? I don't care about this guy at the end.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's also this kind of showing like how like, I mean, especially also with the protests, like how much like the original narrative had just been twisted.
Yeah.
Like of the Joker, whereas like originally this guy, but like it turned into the mob, and the mob was the crazy guy, and then someone else takes up the moniker, you know?
Yeah. What makes
I get that. I think all the identity of the Joker, like, okay, he's not the same guy from I feel like that's a good, I like all those scenes well, but I feel like they didn't do it in like a well enough way, because they didn't spend enough time emphasis on that part for me to enjoy the movie.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
One thing that made the movie better is if you pretend that they aren't supposed to be Batman characters.
Yeah, because I get, because in the first one, Aiden, they do like, the first one is way more focused on sort of a little bit more Batman. As he meets Bruce Wayne, there's a focus on Thomas Wayne in the movie. It feels more a little bit more Batman-esque.
They kill him.
Not completely.
They killed the parents.
Yeah.
And
I think like having Harley not even be called Harley, her name is plus. Like, she doesn't do anything. She wears clown makeup one time. It's not the right makeup. All of her like Harley Quinn stuff comes from one line. She was like, "Oh, she actually has her PhD in psychology." Oh, but she doesn't do anything.
She's not Harley Quinn at all.
No, and the Joker isn't the Joker at all. Harvey Dent isn't Harvey Dent at all. And
it's just like a sort of like an 80s like sort of taxi driver, but just with Joker skin on it or something.
Sure.
And this is the second biggest issue with my movie. Harley, for being like the second draw of the movie, she's completely underwritten so much in this movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel like a character at all. It could be really interesting if she's like the one manipulating the Joker. Like, it's unusual, you know? But
I feel like she's more like the embodiment of like the entire like movement of the Joker.
Yeah.
You know?
She is
she's
society.
not really a person, but she's like a symbol.
She is society.
I don't know, but
Because she's like the crowd. She loves him when he's Joker, and then she doesn't get with him when he's Arthur.
Yeah.
I guess I just don't like that idea that much as a concept. Because like in the Joker Harley relationship usually, and I get it's a different movie, but you get to at least to flesh out both characters as a sort of complex dynamic. Where I don't want another just he's actually dating society.
The society.
I know.
Yeah, I think that's why
What were
Uri
you-
didn't actually like this movie. It's
Beck,
because there
what were your
wasn't enough
thoughts on the
society.
movie?
I mean, it's 100% not as good as the first one, but I had like a good time. It was like enjoyable. I thought it was really cool, like trying to I hadn't seen the Joker movie in a couple years, just like hearing their retelling of events and trying to think like through their point of view, like is it actually two different personalities? Is it just one guy? I thought it was posing some kind of interesting questions.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
parts were interesting, but I don't think it either needed to be
I
that
mean,
fully or
I,
music
like-
fully.
I definitely 100% like when you said that the guy wrote it as a giant middle finger to the people who liked the first Joker, that kind of clicked in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, this kind of just feels like that,
Yeah. Aiden.
I kind of remembered just now that I have 3 other things I want to talk about.
Oh,
Okay, but
Yeah.
how did you come up with 3?
I remembered. Them.
Okay, but your thoughts on Joker?
All right. I
Yeah.
didn't think it was terrible. Having not having seen the movie, I think put my expectations in a better place.
Also, I did go in with very low expectations. So whenever I go into a movie with very low expectations and it's not dog shit,
It's better.
it's better.
I don't know. You guys gotta watch the first one. It's way better.
The Joker.
Yeah, and I did not like the ending at all. For my opinion, he just dies.
Where he
I guess
doesn't just
the-
die, he gets stabbed.
Arthur Flex dies so the Joker could live. I don't know.
The Joker. What if the
Society.
Joker was a
It looks like you guys are dumb, and I'm the only one who has well thought out opinions, and you guys are idiots. So Aiden, talk
Yeah,
about your
well, you
shitty
see
little
that?
free
You
thing.
see that? What am I, Uri? Say my name.
You're a master fucking baiter.
So guys, I watched the new Amazing Digital Circus episode.
Oh
last night.
no!
Oh
Isn't
no!
there like a depressed chess piece in it?
He's one of the main characters.
Okay.
It
But
was
he
pretty.
is in it.
It was good. It was really good. It's good. You guys
Did
should
it
watch
good?
it. You guys should watch it. It's on Netflix now.
Mm.
So I'm not going to
So
watch
I now have
it.
to
Alright.
pay for it.
Well, it's still on YouTube.
Like you have Netflix.
You also have Netflix. Anyway,
Mm.
speaking of YouTube, Beck, you also watched this.
Oh no, no, Aiden, please,
Okay, what?
Aiden,
What?
Aiden,
Yeah?
Aiden.
What's up, Beck?
Don't make me do this.
Don't make you talk about Parkour Civilization.
Don't make me talk about this, Aiden.
Why not?
You see-
It's
Okay,
too good.
We're skipping that. So last one.
Well, we'll wait until Beck watches the sequel next week. Anyway,
No, we can talk about it, Aiden, if you want.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, fine. It's basically a young adult novel, dystopia, but it's in Minecraft.
That's true.
And the guy pauses every 10 minutes to recap the entire
Because
story.
it's a different YouTube video.
And
every
then it
time.
has
It's
the-
mashed together.
Is it on
It
It
Letterboxd?
has-
It was.
It
and then
was,
wasn't.
and then they took it off.
They keep
And
removing it.
he says fucking Parkour Civilization every 5 seconds.
He also says blocks that he's never seen youth in parkour before.
Yeah.
I
I would love to see a counter of every time he did that.
It's really good. It's legitimate.
Yeah, it's a very good YouTube video, but when you watch it, you're like, this is literally every young adult dystopian novel ever written.
And those are popular. Percy Jackson.
Yeah, no, I'm not again. I'm just saying it is exactly like all of
It has
those.
Percy Jackson writing, is what it is.
Yo, don't diss Rick Riordan like that.
Anyway, you should watch the sequel, Beck. The sequel is better in a lot of ways.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Morbius. Anyway, last thing. Do you guys think I should buy these? I finally found movie accurate little green men from Toy Story. Finally.
Isn't that where all your Celsius money is going once we get monetized?
Yeah.
No, Beck, you got to buy the CS:GO knife and we're going skydiving.
No, these ones.
Because here we go in order of the promises. So it's first CS:GO knife.
Yeah.
Second is Aiden completes his Toy Story toy collection.
CS:GO knife. I thought it was just gambling and CS:GO again.
And then skydiving is at 1 mil.
Yeah. So anyway, I finally found movie accurate versions. The problem with them is that in the movies, they're like little squeaky toys, right? Like rubber latex squeak toys. And those don't really exist in real life. Every time I try to find them, they're like hard.
There would just be dog toys, wouldn't they?
Well, I'm getting to that. They're basically dog toys. But like the ones that they usually sell, like hard plastic ones that are like $100 for all three of them. And I found these ones for $9, and they are dog squeaky toys.
Let's go.
And they're like
Aiden, you should get the hat.
Good
size. Get like the beanie of the head and go to a Japanese forest.
I'm not gonna do that, actually.
No, I think you should do that. That'd be a crazy video.
I could find a dead dollar, perhaps. But you guys think I should cop these?
Yeah, how much does it cost?
$9. That's
why not?
100%.
You have disposable income.
I have to pay for shipping.
That's fine, Aiden.
Aiden, pay for the fucking shipping.
Yeah, because it comes with all three of them.
You're saying this like you don't have disposable income.
Well, I do have disposable income, but
exactly.
I'm also like paying for school and for like my car and for
and Aiden, $15 is gonna change that.
I don't know.
Aiden,
we'll never see. I did also just spend $400 this week on not movie tickets, on Weird Al tickets. So that's
awesome. Then I'm going with Aiden too.
Maybe we'll see.
What?
I got tickets for Weird Al. They're in August of next year.
Hey, that's my birthday. You're gonna take me for my birthday?
No, I'm not taking you, Nicola. You would hate it there. You would hate it.
I've never
been on my calendar, Aiden.
I don't. It's not like I don't fuck with Weird
Al fan.
You have said this before.
So now it's you and a bunch of people at a concert, I guess.
Yeah, I mean everyone likes Weird Al.
I like him, but I don't know if I'm in love with him.
This guy sucks, is what.
Anyway, what's the rec, guys?
The rec.
I say White Bird.
My recommendation is my version 2. My version of the Joker 2 is what is what we should watch.
Watch Megalopolis 3 times.
I think that's a great
on
idea
IMAX.
Also.
Yeah, I feel like that. Then you'll finally like understand what he was smoking.
You know, because if you
understand when he was smoking,
you'll become the Joker if you watch it 3 times in a row.
A Joker. What if the Joker?
Anyway, always use Celsius. Always use Celsius. Always use Celsius. Thanks for listening. Homeboys and homegirls.
Oh yeah.